Alright, I'm live, baby. The NHL Bracket Challenge, the best time of year before we fade off into the darkness when only baseball is on. So I won't be watching TV during that time, but also it's a sign the warm weather is coming, at least for us up north, motherfuckers. Look, I'm in New York, so, you know, it's been cold for like 10 fucking months. Alright, let's talk about hockey, though. No one has subscribed to me for hockey, and no one's going to watch this. So I'm just going to give low effort, because maybe someone does want to know who's going to win the Stanley Cup before it happens. Because last year, I got it right. This year, I'm going to get it right again. Because last year, I picked the Avalanche over the Lightning in my bracket challenge. I got a couple series in there wrong, so I didn't end up winning. But, you know, what are you going to do? It says brackets lock in 4 days and 7 hours. That would be after the playoffs begin. I feel like that's cheap. You know, if you go in there after game one and then you decide who's going to win, that's some bullshit. Boston versus Florida. I'm taking Boston. I mean, everyone's taking Boston. And for good reason. They're the best team in the league. They're going to roll over Florida. I bet my cock and balls this series doesn't touch 6 games. Alright, Pastrnak is a maniac. Allmark's having a good year. Don't give me the shit about he hasn't played in the playoffs. Fucking goalies are expendable. Unless you're Vasilevsky or Shesterkin or like a top level goalie, if you're playing good defense, your goalie's gonna look good. So, some people say it's the most important position. I disagree. I think there's enough. It's like running backs in football. If you have a good offensive line, your running back's going to look good. If you have a bad one, your running back is going to look bad. It's an expendable position. All right? They're all professionals. A lot of them can look good. All right, so next up we got the Maple Leafs and my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I regret to inform you that the Lightning are rolling into the playoffs looking like shit. But they did as well last year and the year before that. But this year it's a little different. Like, they're really, really looking bad. And for that reason, I think Toronto wins in 6. But please, for the meme, please allow the Lightning to win this series. I don't care if they get X'd out by Boston in 4 games. Just take out Toronto. I fucking hate Toronto, and I love the rage of their fans. And I love the meme of them losing in the first round every year. Like, if they could get that again, oh my God. Oh, my fucking cock would be as hard as a brick. Let me take a sip of the fucking Zevia. I'm live, not editing this, so it's going to be what it's going to be. Carolina and the New York Islanders, what we got next here. I love Sebastian Aho. You fucking kidding me? Oh, you fucking bitch. Alright. Yeah, I'm not fucking redoing this video. I'm not redoing it. We're going with the Zamboni again. Boston. Toronto. We're back where we were. Oh, this channel fucking stinks. Oh, man. Don't worry, the football videos are better. They are better. But I love Sebastian Aho, and they have old-ass Brent Burns. The Islanders are the most fucking boring team in the league to watch. For that reason, they're going to get X'd out. I can't watch 2 series of New York Islanders hockey. They're so boring. Alright, they're shit. They play such defensive hockey, and I don't give a fuck what you say. Goals are fun. That's what I want to see. Goals. Alright, I want to see 2-1, 1-0, 3-1. I want to see 5-4, 6-5, 6-3, all that shit. Alright, Carolina is more prone to deliver that than the Islanders. So my bias is telling me Carolina is going to beat them in like 6 or 7 games. Who fucking knows? And also, Carolina is the better team. So far, I've picked 0 upsets. That changes now. The New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes, 1 point short of 100. He's taken over the league. Lindy Ruff is fucking still coaching. And he's got the New Jersey Devils turning the ship around and playing their rivals, the New York Rangers. I'm excited for this series, man. I love a Devils-Rangers series. I hate the rule where Gary fucking pussy bitch Bettman. I don't know who made the rule, but where you're playing the same teams in your division to create rivalries, I guess. I like that shit to happen naturally, but whatever, I'm preaching to fucking the choir. In my opinion, the Rangers are going to win, man. And the Rangers are going to win because the Devils are young. All right, they were very good this year. And the Rangers have Panarin, Zibanejad, both over 90 points. They got Patrick Kane, Shesterkin, the best goalie in the league, in my opinion. I think he's going to have a better playoff this year than last year. Yeah. So Rangers are going to win this one. And I already told you how many games I think these things are going. 6. How many do I think this one's going to go? I mean, you can't have 3 6-game series. All right, fuck it. We're doing 3 6-game series. One of these has to go 7, right? All right. We're switching it up because there's no way that there's 3. I'm overthinking it. Just submit it. All right. This is what I do. I always feel like it's like a trick question. Should I do the East first? Now, let's go to the West. All right. Seattle versus Colorado. Seattle surprisingly looking pretty good this year. And Colorado without Gabriel Landeskog, or however the fuck you say his name. All right. They look like they might be on their way out against Seattle. Could be an upset. And you know what? When I was going over these series, I actually wrote down Seattle's going to win. But let me see here. This is one where I'm torn on. I'm really torn on this one because on one hand, Seattle is a very young team. On the other hand, the Avalanche seem to be limping into the playoffs a little bit, but they still have a lot of firepower. McKinnon, Ratinen, both over 100 points. But the thing about Seattle is they're a little bit good everywhere with Eberle, fucking, I don't even know most of their players. Dunn, Gord is pretty good. They score more goals a game. They give up more goals every game. Oh, look at that power play percentage, though. All right, yeah. All right, so here's going to be what's I'm deciding off of is this right here. Power play and penalty kill. I think that's going to be the difference maker in this series. Give me the the fuck was I trying to say? Colorado Avalanche. They're going to win that series in 7. Next up, Dallas, Minnesota. Another series that I'm torn on, man. This one can go either way. Dallas has that Robinson guy, that Asian player, who's plus 37 with 109 points. He's a fucking beast. I love that guy. Minnesota has a good up-and-coming team with Kaprizov. And, look, I don't know a lot about every team. I'm not the hockey guy, all right? I'm a guy who enjoys the sport of hockey. With that being said, let me go to the stats, because this is another series I picked to go 7. So let's go to the stats here. Wow, both these teams have good penalty kill. Or solid penalty kill. Man, the 83%, that's really good. And a better power play. Man. Alright, initially when I was going over these series, I picked Minnesota in 7, but I'm changing it. I'm going Dallas in 7. Alright, I feel confident in that now. Now, I like this statistics bar thing because the ones where I'm torn on, it's helping me decide. And I'm trying not to overthink it. All right, we're not overthinking it. We're taking it one series at a time because I tend to overthink everything. Next up, we got Winnipeg versus the Vegas Golden Knights. I fucking hate Vegas. I hate them. I hate Jack Eichel. But Winnipeg isn't that good, and Vegas is going to roll over them in 4 games. Jack Eichel dealing with some injuries this year. Still was plus 26, man. Hate to say it. I'm starting to like Eichel again, even though I also root for the Sabres. But, you know, can't deny good players. And this is going to be another series with Edmonton and LA that I think isn't going to be too close. I was super high in LA going into this season. I thought they were a cup contender, but also thought Calgary was going to be a cup contender. I want to see the cup go back to Canada, personally. It's been too long. It's more fun when the Canadian teams are good. With that being said, Edmonton's going to roll over the Los Angeles Kings. And that's going to happen in 4 games. Do I even need to go over the stats? Connor McDavid's a fucking monster. Draisaitl's a monster. Fucking LA still is using Anze Kopitar. What is he, 100 years old? Colorado in 7. Vegas with a sweep in 4. Dallas in 7. Edmonton, we'll say 5. LA is going to win 1 because they're still a decent team, but they're not as good as I had once thought. And some people still think they're a cup contender. I don't think so. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Alright. I'm still not redoing the video. I don't give a fuck. Alright. I already know who I'm picking. Boston, Toronto, Carolina, the Rangers. Alright, 5, 7, 6, 6. Alright, good enough for me. What do we got here? Colorado, Dallas, Vegas, Edmonton, and this is where I left off at. Colorado 7, Vegas with a sweep at 4, Dallas at 7, Edmonton at 5. Alright, let's run through this before they fucking pull me off the airwaves again. They don't want me sharing the NHL secrets with anyone. Alright, they don't want y'all to make money heading into them sports books. But here we go. Round 2. Boston versus Toronto. There's no way Toronto beats Boston, right? I mean, they're too snake-bit. And Boston's unstoppable. They're unstoppable. Boston's going to win that series. Do I really need to say much about how I feel about the Bruins? And I know people will talk about the President's Trophy curse, yada, yada. I don't give a fuck, all right? This ain't just no ordinary President's Trophy year. You could talk about the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning and how they got swept. I think this is a lot different. And that shit never happens. That's why that's the example everyone uses. But who's headed into the Eastern Final out of Carolina and New York? Let's hit the stats, man, because this is going to be a close one. Carolina had more points, obviously. You know where I like to go with this. The special teams, baby. Alright, so it looks like a little better penalty kill from the Hurricanes, but a little bit... Oh, man, this is dead even. I'm going to have to go with gut instinct. Gut instinct tells me the Rangers are going to win that series, man. And I'm pretty confident in that. I think they have a lot of firepower. That trade for Kane is going to work out in the playoffs. He's a great playoff player. And that's going to be what it is. We move to the Western Conference quarters. Colorado, Dallas. Colorado's just too injured, man. I'm sorry. They're a better team on paper. But I think Dallas is going to head back to the Western Conference Finals. Perhaps undeservedly. Oh, man, this is a tough series. Oh, this is one I'm real torn on. See, I didn't look at this before. I just went into the bracket challenge. I only had my round 1 stuff locked in. I wasn't prepared for this task. Vegas and Edmonton. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, they're only 2 points apart. Oh, but that power play for fucking Edmonton is insane. And that penalty kill for Vegas isn't too good. All right, I'm going Edmonton. I'm going Edmonton. Here's why. I absolutely despise a lot of the players on Vegas. I think the Edmonton fan base deserves it more. And I think McDavid's getting back to the conference. McDavid is hungry for a Stanley Cup. I know he is. And I think he's more hungry than Jack Eichel is. And any other player on Vegas. And also that power play for Edmonton. That's something different, man. That's something different. They're going to win this one. All right. So back to the fucking East. Here we go. Is there any question who I'm picking to make it to the Stanley Cup final out of the East? I mean, I could sit here and talk to you about stats and take all day like other guys or other people on the internet do. I ain't going to do that. I'm going to take a sip of my Zevia and just click on the team that's going to go to the Stanley Cup final. And that's the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins are something else. And I don't think that President's Trophy is going to hurt them this year. They're going to wipe through that Eastern Conference, man, because they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. But we head to the West, where it's Dallas and Edmonton. No question, man. No question. Edmonton and Boston Stanley Cup final. Oh, I would love this. This is a dream Stanley Cup final for me. Let's take a look at the stats. Obviously, points is Boston all day. Offense is fucking... offense is all Edmonton, man. But, man, that penalty kill for Boston is something else. This is tough. This is tough, man. What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be McDavid getting his first or Boston getting off the schneid? I'm really thinking hard here. I'm really thinking. I know Connor McDavid needs this for his legacy. Oh, man. Where do I go with this? Fuck, man. Boston or Edmonton? I know how I'm going to decide this. I'm pulling out my phone. Hey, Google. It's not pulling up. I was going to ask Google to flip a coin, and that was going to be how I decided. I don't have a coin on me. I'm not getting up to get one. I'm going to have to go with who I really think is going to win. And that's Boston. It's Boston. And, I would love for Edmonton to win, and I really think it would do wonders for Connor McDavid's fucking career. And I do think he's going to get one eventually. But I think Boston's going to win it this year. And I think a lot of brackets are going to reflect this. But I think a lot of people are going to overthink it because they had such a good regular season. I'm not going to overthink it, though. I think Boston is for real. And they remind me of Colorado last year, where they just went into the playoffs on an absolute tear. And they're very healthy. They're very good at hockey. Edmonton is also very good at hockey. And I could see it going either way. I really could. And let's go total goals, by the way, in the finals series. Well, how many games do I think it's going to go? You motherfuckers. Alright, well, I'm just going to put the bracket in again. Alright, you guys seen the bracket. I'm going to retype everything in. Alright? And I'm picking Boston to win the Stanley Cup. Who gives a fuck about the total goals? I don't give a fuck. The Boston Bruins are going to win the Stanley Cup. That's what my brackets are going to reflect. All right? This is the Zamboni. They didn't want you to see it. The NHL's in my computer trying to fucking stifle me from telling you who's winning the championship. But, you know, you seen it. The Boston Bruins. I'm fucking out of here. Go fuck yourself.